When a bike shares the call sign of a horror movie icon and the name of a thrash metal icon, there are certain expectations. This year's Rocky Mountain Slayer far exceeds them. While other bikes are busy blending trail and enduro, the new Slayer blends enduro and DH. But we wondered if the altitude and adversity of Park City's endless remote trails would be too much for it. It might just have us saying the F word.
So is Freeride back?
Didn't we talk about that before? Wasn't that the Yeti SB165? Is the Freeride back?
Well, this is like big wheel Freeride.
All right.
Well, they make it in 2 wheel sizes, but we rode the 29er.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make no mistake. Yes. Like they put it in the Freeride category on their website.
Yeah, it's like next to the Maiden.
Yes, exactly. It's back.
Yeah.
And it's Freeride.
Yeah, and this bike is unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of focus on versatility or backcountry or any other dumb buzzword I can't think of right now. Like it's got double down tires, it's got a coil shock. I mean, you can set this up with a 63.8 degree head angle. That's less than 64.
I mean, you could put a dual crown fork on this thing and call it a downhill bike, right? Like, it's a big old Freeride bike, but I mean, it actually does climb well for what it is, right? Like,
So we're getting apologetic all of a sudden here.
I mean, yeah, like it does climb. Like, it's not like an old Freeride. Like,
Oh, back
the
up.
last
You were
time-
the one complaining about
I
it.
was, yeah, I know, but like, you know, I mean, it's all relative, right? Like, for what it is, it's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a pig. Like, it's a heavy bike. Like, it's like 35 pounds or something, right?
So our climb, the bulk of our climb, was this nice, perfect blue, kind of forget about it most of the time, get to the top of the hill and do your business kind of a climb.
Yeah, it was like an IMBA grade switchbacky climb
Yeah.
forever and ever.
Yeah, the kind of climbs that are made for little blue levers, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got off the plane and got directly to it, and Travis is like, here's the heaviest bike now. I'm going to get on this one and try and completely cane you on this thing. I flipped the lever, and I was like, damn, this thing is just, it really is climbing really well. I mean, it's got a steep seat tube angle. You're in the power center for producing power on the cranks, and we could sit on it all day. And I'm not going to be the first to the top. You don't want to be. That's not the goal of this bike.
Yeah, that's not the point.
It's to get to the top and have enough energy left over to really, make mincemeat of the descents, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a comfortable climber. It is in no means a fast climber.
Yeah, and like, I mean, let's face it, anybody who's actually even looking at purchasing this bike already knows that, right? Like, it's pretty obvious that this isn't going to be the fastest thing up the hill. But like the fact that it can like get you to the top of like Lord of the Squirrels or something is pretty awesome. The fact that it like we can ride it here in Park City at altitude, like up 1,000-foot climbs, is pretty amazing. You know, like it's a bike that has a lot of travel. It's coil sprung, and like it'll get you there. And then on the way down, it's like cheating.
One of the days I rode this on was a wet day. And there's something about climbing onto a bike that's like tucking yourself into a nice down comforter. And this it had that feeling, like no monsters were gonna get me.
It made you feel warm and fuzzy, and you're like, I can manage this, even though it's cold and rainy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And part of it's the coil shock, part of it is the double down tires that they spec on this bike out of the box. So it had that going for it. Has XT brakes, which I think is rad because they have this light touch. You get the stopping power when you need it. They just work.
Yeah, I felt like those brakes were super good on this bike. Like, it comes with big rotors, so you get that extra stopping power with it, and it doesn't really demand. I mean, I guess you could put a set of Saints on there or whatever, but like I felt like the XCs were strong enough for this bike, even in the wet.
The XT 12-speed drivetrain is fantastic. I think you'll see some of these bikes out in the wild that have been lightened up a little bit. That's my suspicion. Just taking the double downs off, you can save a considerable amount of weight, and that's all rotational weight. So that makes a big difference in how it responds, how it climbs, and probably changes the character of the bike considerably.
It's cool to see a one-up dropper on this. I like it when brands don't just go to the top three. They say, no, we like the short exposed length of this. We like the workings of it. We like the adjustability, the serviceability of it.
We rode this bike. It does have adjustable rear suspension, right? You have if I'm not mistaken, 4 different positions you can put it in.
Ride 4.
Yep, ride 4. And we rode it in the neutral position, which was the 3rd position.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, well, none of us felt like we needed to change it.
It gives you like a whole degree of adjustment at the head tube angle, which is more than what most like flip ships do. So you can't experiment around with it. We left it in neutral because we felt comfortable with that.
Rocky was smart in how they designed and spec'd the new Slayer, but not like too smart. It's as if any time an engineer suggested something that would aid in practicality at the cost of capability, they had to put $1 in the pussy jar. This bike has no use for it.
Like, it's really common to see coil sprung bikes be like super linear and gushy, kind of like almost vague feeling. But this was one of the like the poppier almost coil sprung bikes that I've ridden. Like it was supportive all the way through the travel. And I didn't really expect that, you know? So you could push into corners and have it actually spring you out. It wasn't this like, really just like, the spring just kind of gives way on you as you corner. Like, it really did push you out of the corners well. And it made the bike a little bit more lively than what it kind of looks like it would be, you know?
Well, there's a coil spring on every build of this bike. So
Yeah.
you can tell that it's not like just the people who want a gushy bike, yeah, you'll get this coil spring. It's like, no, this bike from the ground up is made for a coil spring. In
Exactly.
yeah.
The suspension kinematics are, you know, they work the best with a coil spring on this bike. Downhill, this bike, it gains speed so fast, right? I mean, and we weren't timing our runs, but I can guarantee I don't think anything else would have touched this. Maybe the Enduro. I mean, I think you mentioned that yourself.
Yeah,
But,
the Enduro for me was a little bit more, it actually it felt a little more ground huggy, even though it was an air suspended chassis. But yeah, like, I don't know. This bike, it felt like maybe even over my skill level, right? Like, I
Absolutely.
can't ride it hard enough to get to like, I just see Vanderham, right? So I look at this bike and I'm like, Vanderham, this is
Yes.
the bike that's for him, right?
Yeah, like
he's gonna send it.
You try and get this bike off the ground, there isn't something to really shoot you into the air. It's not the easiest thing to pull off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's one of these very terrain-specific bikes, where if you're choosing this over, say, the Scott Ransom kept coming up, and it has a really different character than this bike.
Yeah.
It is a little lighter and flightier. It has the travel when you need it, but it doesn't really demand you use it all the time. It's okay to ride the Ransom in a moderate travel kind of a setting, whereas this bike, like, the terrain dictates your choice of this bike. So when you want to jump it, you want to be somewhere where there's senders. That's really true to Rocky Mountain's kind of envelope pushing origins.
Yeah.
They hit the mark. They changed it a little bit, right? They've got other bikes that are now really, really competent in shorter travel configurations. And so now that you come up with the Slayer and you redesign it, yeah, why not put it up at the top of the heap and make it a total fucking badass?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it like the Instinct BC edition, you get it like, it's a 29er with 155, you know, rear travel with a 160 fork or something. And that's like, it's a little bit more rideable all over the place. It's an all mountain bike. But this thing, it's like new gen free ride for sure.
Yeah, dust off the hockey mask. Slayer's back.
Freeride might be coming back. The Slayer does not care if you think it's too heavy or its head angle's too slack. Buy a different bike. But if you want the most capable thing this side of a dual crown fork, buy Slayer. Then maybe put a dual crown fork on it. Check out the full written review and the rest of the Bible videos at bikemag.com.